Hello, Jeff Helvin here with Ballen Brands, and today I want to show you how to integrate a third-party physical mailing company with Keap. And now this works in Keap or Keap Max Classic, formerly known as Infusionsoft, and it's done through the campaigns section. Now, obviously, you have to have a third-party physical email or physical letter vendor in order to make this work. So we're going to show you what we use here to give you a better idea. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Keap and I'm going to click on Marketing Campaign Builder. So this is where the campaigns are actually set up and installed. So I'm going to go to, let's say, our birthday campaign that we have. And when I click on this, it's going to open up the screen for us. And from here, it's going to show me all of this that I've already got set up. Now, just to give you an idea, we launched the birthday campaign. It runs a little action set. This only works in Keap Max Classic, the actual action set part. And it checks to see if we have a birthday. If we don't, then it runs a little sequence that tries to collect their birthday. Now, if we do have their birthday, it pops up here. And then we have the option to send the electronic birthday communication, which in our case is a text and an email. And then we have this send physical birthday card option as well. Okay, so I'm going to open up that sequence because that's what we're focused on here today. Now, what I want to do is we want to say like 14 days before their birthday, we want to trigger this physical card to go out. Okay, now the reason why we do that, of course, we want to give time for processing and so forth. So we can't necessarily land it exactly on the right day, but we want to make an estimation that it takes maybe 7 days to process or 5 days to process, and then maybe 5 days to get there. So we want to be before their birthday. We don't want it to come after their birthday. Okay, so then we use what's called an HTTP post. So if I open up this HTTP post, it actually says, and it indicates here that the post URL is going to go in this particular spot. Okay, and it only has one value, which is the actual contact ID. So we're passing that contact ID to this HTTP post. Now, we use a service called Zen Direct. That is an option. It's kind of like a send out cards if you've heard of that, only send out cards doesn't directly integrate with Keap. So we use something like Zen Direct, which has similar options and competitively priced as well. So in Zen Direct, you simply just have to have a project. So you would set up, let's say, a birthday card, for example. Okay, these are just some other cards that we have set up in here. So we'd set up a birthday card, and once I have that birthday card, I'm going to go here to integrations. Okay, when I go to integrations, this actually integrates with a few different options. And so I'm going to click here on the Infusionsoft. Again, it used to be called Infusionsoft, now it's called Keap, but it's basically the same thing. And so I'm going to click here to view and edit actions. Now in here, this is what allows me, you'll see I've already got a few others set up for this particular client. And birthday isn't actually even one of them, but we'll assume that it is here. So what we do is we just create this new action, and we're going to give it a name, birthday test, and then we choose which project I have set up. So we'll pretend it's this one that works. Now, if you want to add a gift, you can do that. Chocolates, truffles, brownies, things of that nature, caramel popcorn, a lot of different options here that you can add, even gift cards as well. So if you wanted to send that to your database, anybody you have a birthday for in your database, by all means, you can get that all set up. Now, then it says send from. So of course you have the information in Zen Direct to where it's sending from, who the sender is. In this case, of course, you and your address. Also where it would be returned to if for some reason it doesn't go through. And then we have the send to. So we have it set to billing address. Now, billing address really means address 1. We can technically change the names of those particular addresses in Keap. So we just want to be clear on that particular part. But billing address in this case means address 1. So if I go back to Keap, for example, let me pull this up again, and I look at a contact, any contact in here, then you will see the address. So it's called billing address in here, but I can change the labels of those, but really it's just street, this address, as opposed to under address, there's 2 other addresses. So you can choose to use any of these 3, basic address 1, address 2, address 3. So if I go back to Zen Direct, and I can actually choose which of those, address 1, 2, or 3. It's your choice, however you use those addresses. In our case, we usually just use address 1, even though it's labeled billing address. We don't really bill, obviously, our clients. like on a regular basis. It's not attached to a credit card, so we just use that as the shipping address. Okay, so once I've done that, I can click Create Action, and there it goes. So what it does is gives us this post URL. So I can copy that post URL. Okay, copy. And then I'm going to go back here to my birthday campaign. I'm going to paste that post URL in there. So this is a custom, unique URL that's going to trigger specifically that campaign. Okay, so then I just go ahead and mark it as ready to go. And then we also add a note in our case. There we go. Pop in there. We also add a note just on the record just to say that the physical birthday card was sent or triggered to go. So that's just a personal preference on how you like to log or track that. So now that's it. Once I publish that campaign, what will happen is 14 days before the birthday that they have on file in Keap, it will then send that request along with this contact ID. You got to make sure you have that along with this contact ID, and it will then go into Zen Direct. Zen Direct will pull out that information about that contact, so their address and their name if we're using things like their name in the actual card itself. And then basically everything's good to go. So if you have any questions on that, by all means, you can reach out to us at team@ballenbrands.com.